Welcome to SSU TV. My name is Ian Loney. I'm here today with Abraham Deweese and Matt Page. On today's show, we'll be covering the last of our way too early predictions with the game against the Cleveland Browns. We'll also be taking a look at the overall big picture of the Seahawks season. Matt, we have the game against the Cleveland Browns on December 20th. It's a 10 o'clock game. What do you think of the picture of the game?
The game, well, breaking down basically their offense, Cleveland doesn't have one. Let's just be straight and honest.
Yeah, not really.
They do not have an offense. They brought in Josh McCown in the offseason, and that was their biggest, great signing. But Josh McCown went 1-10 last year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So he doesn't bring a lot to the table. Brian Hoyer, who was actually very good for them last year, in my opinion, he fleed, and he was right to flee.
He
ran away, and he left, and he went to Houston. So they're stuck with Johnny Football, who is party man, and
he's in rehab.
No, he's out of rehab now.
Oh, okay, so he's back to partying.
So he's back to partying, and they have Josh McCown, and then also they don't have a clear-cut number one running back, and their wide receiver core is highly questionable.
So what kind of philosophy are they going to even be running with?
Well, they're going to be trying to be focusing on the run. Last year, they were most successful when they were running the ball because they didn't have the quarterback talent. This year, they're in the same boat, and they have the same style, situation. Their biggest strength is their offensive line, and they drafted Cameron Irving in the first round for Florida State, which was an excellent pickup. He's a beast. He'll help out and increase their strength. It will definitely help what little of a rushing game they have, but the honest truth is that they have three guys that none of them are really that great. They drafted Duke Johnson from Miami to be another running guy. He's solid, but I don't know if he has what it takes to be a number one in the NFL. Also, they at wide receiver core they signed Brian Hartline and Dwayne Bowe.
Overrated number one and overrated number two.
Both of them are about a number 3 on any offense in the NFL. And that's their number 1 and number 2, unfortunately. So they're not looking like they're going to be doing very well on offense. I'm not afraid of their offense at all.
So it's pretty clear what we think of the offense. What do you think about the defense, though? They seem a little bit better.
The defense is better. Okay, this was the team that was ranked number 9 in the league last year in total points given up. They also did really well on pass defense. Their rush defense was terrible. So, okay, they kept people out of the end zone, great, but they couldn't stop people from controlling the ball and moving up and down the field. So, they kept them out of the end zone, gave up field goals, but they couldn't get their offense back on the field. Now, granted, like you said, the offense wasn't going to do anything with the ball, even if they did get it, but whatever. That's neither here nor there.
So what's the philosophy behind their defense?
They run a hybrid defense, sorry. Jim O'Neill is a young guy. He's 35, came over with Mike Patine. He's a disciple of his. They came over from Buffalo, and the Buffalo defense is really good.
Yeah, they are.
It's built off of their premise, their profile and their premise. They got some really strong players. Joe Hayden is a shutdown corner. There's a lot of Twitter action between he and Richard Sherman and Patrick Peterson. Revis. Yes, exactly. He's in that conversation. Yes. He is one of those guys. Got a big contract, got a big ego, but he can back it up. He can shut people down. The only thing I wonder is who do you put him? Who do you defend against on the Seahawks with Joe Hayden? It's almost like you're wasting a shutdown corner on
Doug Baldwin
and Jermaine.
Yeah, we don't have a true number 1.
So,
right.
Well, that said, I mean, you said something about the run defense. It sounds like we'll just run it down their throat.
Oh, well, if we're smart, that's what we're going to do. Why bother throwing at Joe Hayden? There's really no point there. We just ram it right down their throat. But
you were saying they addressed this?
Hang on, they addressed it. There's a but. There's a semicolon, but, comma. University of Washington's Danny Shelton got drafted in the first round. You're looking at about a 330, 6'4" monster, takes up space. He's going to be a traditional. They're going to change a little bit what he does, and they're going to move him into more of a nose tackle over the center. So they're going to have him. They're going to force the offense to put one of the two guards and that center to block down.
They have him draw a double team, and
they're going to have him draw the good old Cortez Kennedy action. from back in the day. They also got a really good player, Nate Orchard. I know that's one of your favorites from the University of
Utah.
There we go. We'll get to see a defensive end Xavier Cooper from the University of
Washington
Wazoo.
State.
Washington State. Yes. So we're going to do a trivia show. It's called From the University of. But we're really excited because we're going to see a bunch of Pac-12 guys that for you college fans may have seen, play the Huskies and or play for the Huskies. These names are going to pop back up, but that's a big weakness. I say this every week. When you rely on rookies at a lot of positions, you're cruising for a bruising. You're cruising.
You're going to have a bad time.
You're going to have a bad time. You're going to have Marshawn Lynch shoving the ball down your throat.
So that said, what are you guys' predictions for this game?
I
take it you don't think it'll be close.
No. This is a W. This is firmly a W.
This is, you know what? Just quit the season if we lose this game.
If we lose this, we're not going anywhere in the playoffs.
Relegate us to Big Sky Conference.
So
we
could be 13-0 before we enter this game. If we lose this game, don't even send us to the playoffs.
So you don't think it might be one of those games where they start flat and give them a 21-point lead and then have to come back at the end and win?
I guess to be fair, anything could really
Anything could happen.
Yeah. You never know. The injuries could pile up. You never know. God forbid. There's a suspension of players.
Maybe Josh McCown becomes the next Aaron Rodgers. We don't know.
Or Johnny Manziel might become the next Tim Tebow. Yeah,
that would be an upgrade.
That would be an
upgrade.
So, that said, obviously we have some specific thoughts about the Seahawks. What do you think, Matt, are their keys to success offensively?
Offensively, the big picture, the keys to success, win any game for the Seahawks, the offensive line has to stay healthy. The offensive line is key. That's part of why I was so distraught to see Max Unger leave. They need to let Marshawn be Marshawn. The dude is he gets in trouble with the league because he flips people off or he dives and grabs his crotch in the end zone or whatever. But that's part of who he is.
Yep.
Let him be that guy. Let him have that attitude because he carries it into how he plays. That moxie, it carries over. It increases his intensity. Let him be him. Another thing we need to let Jimmy needs to break open. Jimmy Graham, he needs to get open once or twice just to establish the threat of him being there. And then finally, one thing I think we really need to get in, we drafted Tyler Lockett out of Kansas State. He's going to be our return guy. I just know it. I would love to see him get more and more involved on the offensive side and not just the special teams. I think he's a very dynamic player, and I think he'd add a lot to our receiving game.
You think he's more of a Golden Tate type?
I think he could become that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he could definitely become that.
From a guy who hates Golden Tate or hated, once I saw him leave the Seahawks, we lost actually a lot of offense. It's amazing we went to the Super Bowl without him because he actually added a lot to this team.
He did.
So that said, defensively, what do you think are the keys to Seahawks success on that side of the ball?
Over the course of the season, Ian, if the Seahawks, if they get Bruce Irvin, get Cliff Averill, Michael Bennett, some of these guys who've been a little bit of a nut job in the offseason, if they get them to be quiet, perform, you'll get your money at the end of the season.
Yeah, you will.
And I've done an on notice about a couple guys on this list already. They need to shut up, get to work.
They're playing to get paid, yeah.
You got to play to get paid, exactly. Another big key to success is a guy that used to be a Seahawk, went to Jacksonville, came back, Marcus Burley.
Oh, yes.
He was a great, in my opinion, a great nickelback.
Absolutely.
He cannot play the one or two cornerback positions. He's just a little bit old for that, a little bit slow for that. But if you can lock down that inside cross pattern that a lot of teams like to run with those Wes Welker types.
And that's been a problem for us.
Another big picture key to success is can Kerry Williams become the cornerback that Byron Maxwell was? He wasn't thought highly enough to be kept at Philadelphia, but this team has a way of getting the most out of their cornerbacks and their D-backs. Last big picture key to success, Cassius Marsh, defensive end, drafted 2 years ago. He's back. He's healthy. He lit up the preseason last year.
Yep.
I want to see him light up.
Time for him to make an impact.
Huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. So what are your guys' doomsday scenario? If everything just goes south, why did it happen?
Well, that offensive line, once again, the offensive line is absolutely key. And without Max Unger, my biggest favorite player on that offensive line, I'm really going to miss him. Without him there, can the offensive line stay apart? If it falls apart,
that's your captain of the line.
Yeah,
right?
and he was the captain of the line. He ran that
blocking,
line, and he ran it well. And there's a reason why centers stay with their teams forever. Okay, but he's moved on, and can they stay together, or will they get hurt? Can they coordinate as well as they have? That's a big concern I have. The young wide receiver core mostly with Matthews, and they got Richardson when he comes back, and they've got Lockett and Norwood and all that. Maybe they don't coach up as fast as we were hoping. Unfortunately, maybe they aren't ready to step in, and they can't take advantage of the holes that will be opened for them by having Jimmy Graham there. That's a concern. The last one that absolutely breaks the season in my mind is Marshawn getting hurt. If we lose Marshawn, I can't see Michaels or Turbin really filling that void.
You don't think it could at least be adequate fill?
I think they can be adequate, but I think in order for our offense to succeed, I think our offense needs beast mode. It needs.
There's a severe drop off.
It needs
Michaels hasn't shown us anything.
Well, yes, and the thing is that having Lynch line up back there behind Russell.
Yeah,
just having him on the field.
The linebacker starts shaking.
Just having him on the field draws so much attention away.
A quick thing. Tyrion Matha, the defensive back for the Cardinals.
The Honey Badger?
Honey Badger. He actually said he was scared. I would listen on the radio. He's scared whenever Marshawn Lynch lines up on the other side. And he hopes that his linebackers and linemen tackle him because he has no interest in tackling.
And one-on-one, he can't. He just doesn't think he can do it. Yeah. No, see, that's the dimension that Marshawn brings.
So defensively, what's your doomsday scenario?
Okay, and I've been thinking about this because I've heard about injuries now to Earl Thomas, Richard Sherman, Lane.
All three had off-season surgery.
All three were hurt in the Super Bowl.
In his comeback,
You also have the hip injury that's persisting with Chancellor.
Yeah.
So you could have an entire LOB not making an appearance in the first game of the season. And, okay, one game, maybe we can do without him. Yeah. 2 games, 3 games, oh my God. Let's just roll up the carpet here. But the other thing that I'm worried about is the pouting from guys like Michael Bennett or Bruce Irvin. Again, get your head on straight, get out there and play the game. Otherwise, this defense has been so good, it's hard to find reasons to think that there's going to be an all-out breakdown.
So you think it's going to be a good season?
Yeah, it's going to be a great season.
All right.
I don't know if we're talking Super Bowl, especially with some of the injuries in the LOB, but we got a free ride. We got a free ride with some of these teams.
I'm saying great season. I'm picking the Green Bay Packers to meet us again in the championship game because they haven't changed a thing, and neither have we. And while we've added a receiver, obviously, with Jimmy Graham, but otherwise, generally, the two teams are pretty much unchanged. They're both going to be the powerhouses of the NFC, and it's going to be a game to watch.
Well, it looks like that's all the time we have for today. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Be sure to visit our website at seattlesideUp.com for daily coverage of your favorite Emerald City teams. And feel free to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Seattle Side Up. From the SSU TV studios here in scenic Edmonds, Washington, I'm Ian Loney, along with Abraham DeWeese and Matt Page, and we thank you for watching.